Good morning to one and all. Today, for my discussion, I have chosen a topic: facing criticism. Let us discuss what is criticism. Criticism is that action of expressing disapproval of something or someone. So, that is facing criticism. So, today we will talk about dealing with criticism. Criticism is a part of life, and if you are going to be anything, you have to deal with criticism at some point in your life. There are two sides of criticism coin, that is receiving criticism and giving criticism. First, we will focus on receiving criticism. So, you need to ask yourself whether it is constructive or destructive criticism. Is it helpful or hurtful criticism? First, we will discuss what is constructive criticism. So, constructive criticism is a criticism which edifies a person's personality and is constructive in nature, like at school or at home, where they are trying to improve your performances. But if you examine yourself and you find no truth in the criticism, then remember that it could be coming of their fears or insecurity that is within them. So don't take it personally. So often when people says about you, that is their true reflection. So if you find that there is no truth in your in the criticism that you have received, that is a destructive criticism. So if you get some unjust criticism, respond to them calmly and be respectful. The words of Dale Carnegie: anyone can criticize, condemn and complain, and most people do. But it takes character and self-control to be understanding and at the same time forgiving. So, truly successful and humble people are those who have faced criticism, and where they were wrong, they corrected themselves, and where they felt like they are not wrong, they have overcome it. Next, we will discuss about giving criticism. Giving criticism has to be in a polite way, not to gossip, judge or complain about it, but in a polite way, conveying your message to your friends and whomsoever it could be. This will be a thoughtful feedback, so examine and don't cast it aside. Oftentimes people give good insight in our own actions, things that we are not aware. So don't let your ego get in the way. So keep your ego aside and your defense mechanism and self-assess yourself, because you know yourself better, and change that behavior. Work upon your thoughts and emotions. So don't let your self-worth be affected by criticism. Rather, work upon it, which will be helpful for your personality development. Remember, every successful person deals with criticism. So, when you experience critics, don't take it to your heart, but examine it. So, if you feel it is valid, work upon it and thank your friend who has given it to you. And if you don't find it valid, even then, be thankful and just discard it. Do not let the critics affect your personality, because in life you will experience bitter and sweet moments which will enhance you to grow. Rather, hiding yourself in your shell, come out of your shell. So focus on what is good. Now, let us discuss what is self-criticism. Self-criticism is typically experienced as negative internal thoughts about oneself, or more specifically, about one's behavior or attributes. When self-critical thoughts applied broadly rather than focus on a particular behavior, they may be more likely to impact well being negatively. Is being self critical a bad thing? Of course not. All self criticism is not harmful. Some is extremely beneficial. For example, the good kind, when not pursued to perfectionism, contribute to building your self confidence and allow you to learn from your mistakes. On the other hand, the bad kind destroys self confidence. So, what causes self criticism? The seed of self criticism are planted early. It caused by two possible factors. First is critical and punitive family relationship, or a very vulnerable genetic embedding, the tendency to look inwardly and seek flaws. Let us discuss facing criticism in different relationships. First, we will focus on family members. Yes, first point is don't make it personal. So, if you receive criticism from any of your family members, don't make it personal. Attempt to avoid internalizing any insults you receive, whether they come from the person you are caring for, another household member, or a buddy. In most likelihood, the origin of their sources has absolutely nothing to do with you. Second point, accept you couldn't make everybody happy. Try to please everybody and you will end up pleasing no one. Members of the family and buddies will not always agree with your decisions regarding a loved one's care. While it's a wise idea to take into consideration the viewpoints of others, it is essential to learn how to trust your guts and stick by your selections. Second, understand that critique is unavoidable. Nobody relish receiving negative feedback. It is an inevitable consequence of assuming the caregiver role. Fourth point, turn your frown upside down. You have probably heard it before. However, research has shown consistently that a fake smile can offer mood boosting benefits and may help you physically unwind and mentally. Fifth point, don't be a pushover. Criticism can be inevitable, but doesn't imply you ought to tolerate abusive behavior. If a family member is hurling opinions on your direction, calmly tell them that you refuse to treat that way and physically remove yourself from their existence. Seek support. Obtaining a serious critique, particularly when it comes from a family member or a close friend, might be difficult to deal with. Many of your friends and your family member who finds fault with your decision probably don't completely understand the range of emotions and stress that weighs on a caregiver's thoughts and heart. It's not their fault. They have just never been in your shoes. Among the best way to deal with critique is to discover an outlet at which one can share your experience and receive sincere feedback from women and men who are confronted with similar conflict. My second point for the discussion is facing criticism as children. As we know, children tend to make a lot of mistakes and they are naughty, so the parents are the one who corrects them or criticizes them. But overly criticizing your child can also affect their self-esteem, can also affect their behavior and their brain development. So parents, let your criticism be gentle and polite, and let us see from a different outlook how we can work upon their problem than pointing on their mistakes, what they have done. It can affect a child's growth as he or she grows to be a teenager or a young adult. So my request to all the parents is let our words be polite, let our words be gentle, and let us work on the problem, not criticize or compare our children, which can affect them very badly. My next point for the discussion is criticizing a teenager. It is for the parents and for the teachers as well. How to deal with your teens' reactions when you give a criticism to them. We need to understand first the psychology of a teenager. Now, teenager is a transitional age where from childhood to adulthood. So they go through a lot of hormonal changes and physical changes. So it's a tough time even for them, where they don't understand why they react in that way, why they feel in that way. So first thing is to build a healthy relationship with your teens. It all depends upon how your bonding is with your teenager. Second is address the behavior, not the person. So many times we address the person and not the behavior. We should address the behavior first. Be kind but direct. As directly you correct them or directly tell them, let your words be kind. Fourth, listen to your teens' opinions. If your relationship with your teenager is really good, then they will also give their opinion. So make sure you listen from them what is their opinion. And parent and a teenager or a teacher or a teenager will work as a team. What you need to avoid when you give a criticism to a teenager is first, don't draw comparison. Yes. We should not compare a teen with his younger or elder brother or sister. We should focus on your son or a teenager's or your daughter problems or strength. Instead of saying that you have this problem, this and that, let us focus on strength and work upon it. The second point is skip the lecture. Nobody likes to listen to the lecture. Let us be short and direct and kind in our words to tell them where they are going wrong and in what way they can build themselves, and skip the lecture, because no teenagers like lectures. Third, avoid being overly critical. Yes, you can be direct, you can be kind. All teens accept that and they like that. But if you are overly criticizing them, they may feel irritated or frustrated. Avoid nagging them. Yes, don't nag your teenager. Yes, nobody likes to be nagged. So don't nag your teenager, because they may start feeling irritated and frustrated and they may feel that they are being cornered. So stop nagging them. Rather, just give them a freedom where they can also explore themselves and they will be just fine. My next point for the discussion is how to handle criticism at work. Criticism is necessary for a healthy workplace. A study by the Harvard Business Review found that constructive criticism may be the best way to get the attention of someone who has become unproductive or complacent. Accepting criticism at work can be an important step towards increasing your efficiency and professional success. Here are some steps how you can handle criticism at work. Control your reaction. Everything about your reaction matters, as your response can be taken as an indicator of your maturity and professionalism. Also, keep in mind that your facial expressions and body language are just as important as your words in how you react to criticism. Between verbal and non-verbal communication, most people consider non-verbal to be more truthful. The first reaction you should express is no reaction. Before you say anything, take a deep breath and pause. This seems simple, but it can prevent you from doing or saying something you will regret. It also gives you a moment to control your body language and facial expressions. If the criticism is completely unexpected, you may need longer to process it. Ask the person if you can think about the conversation for a little while and then talk with them again later. Second point, try not to take it personally. Many people see their work at a job as an extension of themselves. It is easy to take criticism of your work performance personally. Try to separate yourself as a person from your duties, and remember that mistakes are no reflection of your character. Criticism is usually aimed at your work, not you. Give yourself some grace. Everyone makes mistakes and no one knows everything. No matter how good you are at your job and how much experience you have, there is still always more to learn. If you see criticism as a way to help you identify those areas and move forward, you will get the best possible outcome of the criticism. Show appreciation. Though it may be difficult in that moment to get the words out, you need to acknowledge the person's honesty and their delivery if it was kind and constructive. Remember that giving criticism is often as uncomfortable as receiving it. So, the criticism was probably awkward for the other person as well. Show humility. Ego can lead you to react badly, especially to poorly delivered criticism. Remember that there is more likely some truth in it, even if it's hurtful. Your ego will try to protect you by discounting the criticism, not because it is inaccurate, but because of poor delivery. Remember, if you respond humbly, you may gain a valuable learning opportunity. Apologize conservatively. A detailed explanation or an elaborate plan to make amends when none is requested only makes the conversation more awkward. Also, if delivered poorly, the words may come out sounding defensive. Apologizing too much also can bring the uncomfortable spirit of that conversation back repeatedly and rarely adds anything beneficial to the interaction. The next point is, do not dwell on the criticism. The temptation is often to replay the conversation over and over in your mind. You may second guess every word and wish you had said something different. However, this only distracts you from the lesson you could learn from the experience. Throughout your career, you will likely have more than one of these experiences. Give it the time it is due and then move on. Next, let us discuss how to change the way you feel about criticism. While you may never enjoy receiving criticism, there is usually at least some truth in the assertion. Try these tips to learn how to turn the negative into something positive. Think the best of the critics. When a co-worker or a supervisor gives you feedback, think of it as a favor. They are doing just for you. That person was interested enough in you to take the time to help you grow and improve in your chosen field. After all, to develop in your position, you have to know where you have room for improvement. If someone wanted to harm you, they would see your errors and say nothing. Next point, be self-aware. Defensiveness in nature, and you may feel genuinely hurt of critical comments. Give yourself some time to move past that. If something seems too painful, think about why that may be. This could be a reminder of another time in your life when something else was similarly hurtful. Understanding that is the key of getting past it. Next point, listen. Focus on listening carefully to the words spoken. Remember that active listening means paying attention and processing, not using the time while the other person is talking to prepare your response mentally. If you do not understand something, ask clarifying questions. Take notes as you can recall everything later. Respect negative criticism. That is the next point. Rather than seeing positive feedback and constructive criticism as opposite, learn to see them as equals. Though one feels much better to receive than the other, both represent an opportunity to grow. Positive feedback helps you develop by reinforcing a particular behavior, while criticism teaches by discouraging a behavior. Generally speaking, any criticism is better than no feedback at all. Next point, learn. Though you may feel like you are losing confidence or credibility while you are listening to critical feedback, do not lose sight of the lesson. You have something to learn from every experience, even the negative ones and the mistakes. If someone is masterful in delivering constructive criticism, take note of the words they choose and the tone of voice. Watch the non-verbal cues and body language. This is valuable information for the day you are the one delivering the critic. You can learn about yourself through this process as well. Think about how you react and how criticism affects your self-confidence. The next heading for the discussion is how to handle criticism that goes too far. As long as the criticism is meant to help you improve, it can be helpful and constructive. However, if the person delivering the words is using them to be demeaning and insulting, it is no longer constructive criticism. Some examples of this behavior are personal attacks or blaming you for something that is not within your control. The difference between constructive criticism and bullying can be hard to see. Constructive criticism is meant to help someone improve some aspects of their life. This is the sole purpose of the critic. Bullying, on the other hand, is intended to humiliate someone or damage their reputation. The bully wants to belittle or discredit you in front of others. The bully has no intention of helping you improve in any way. Understand that bullying is a type of abuse and it shares three characteristics common to every type of abusive situation. First is it involves a power imbalance. Second is it is repetitive. Third is it is intentional. If you are experiencing these three things in the workplace or in your personal life, you should not tolerate such behavior. Document everything each time a bullying incident happens, including the date and time and any witnesses. Contact your human resource department or your friends. Follow whatever protocol your company has set for filing a complaint. If your co-worker has been victim of the same bully, consider making a joint complaint so that management understands the scope of the problem. Handling criticism at work might never be enjoyable. However, if it is possible to learn to make the best of it, listen carefully and develop a plan for improvement based on what you hear. Do not take criticism personally, but see every interaction as an opportunity to grow as a professional. If you can be mindful and follow these tips, you can find the path to further growth and success in your career, starting with a word of constructive criticism. I hope so that this video on facing criticism was really helpful for you in some or the other way. Thank you so much for watching this video.